Next up is the Mail, Josh.
Yeah, Jewish leaders call on Met chief to quit. So this is the kind of ongoing furore of some footage, which I believe happened last Saturday, a week ago, of a Jewish man walking through London after synagogue, wearing a yarmulke, being openly Jewish, as the saying has sort of caught on, and stopped from being able to cross the road, where there was the pro-Palestinian march, and the police basically accusing him of sort of being provocative and even threatening arrest if he didn't try to move away, which obviously, and you made this point earlier on Free Speech Nation in a different outfit, Paul, but of course that puts paid to this idea that these marches are peace marches where Jews aren't under threat and they're about peace and making and kumbaya, when actually, when someone dare to be visibly Jewish and to see the footage of him being threatened, yet the police are going to go, oh, no, we're going to arrest you for putting yourself in this position, for existing, essentially, as a Jew, as a London Jew here, as opposed to... You see that person over there threatening the Jewish guy? Why don't you go and arrest him?
This is the problem. Had that approach been taken from day one, I don't think the problem would have got to the level it has now. Paul, thoughts?
No, absolutely right. Because Ian Lewis has actually made this point a couple of times. I know he's a contrarian, he comes out a lot of nonsense about meat and Velikovsky, that sort of stuff. But he made a very good point about the fact that the guy did put himself in harm's way. Now, you could argue that if you were a Brighton fan who stood in front of a bunch of Millwall fans, because that would be potentially threatening. What we've been told endlessly since, you know, a week after the 7th of October is that these are all peaceful protests. And what this guy has managed to do single-handedly is expose it for what it is, which is not, because it makes no difference whether they protest every weekend. And I respect and uphold their right to do so, but it makes no difference that they do it. It's not changing the outcome, and it's becoming more and more divisive and, dare I say, more and more dangerous for Jewish people in London.
Well, absolutely. I saw somebody on Twitter earlier sneering at the fact that he'd recorded this. Oh, that's very convenient. And I thought, no, the whole point is, at any time, you should be able to walk on the streets. It doesn't matter. They're kind of implying, oh, he'd planned it, he'd orchestrated it. No, you should be able to walk on the streets anytime.
There's the right to protest and there's the right to exist in the city you live or anywhere as a Jew in this case. Those are two competing rights, and the fact is that people have been using intimidation and actual violence, as we've seen, and hatred, and Jews have been kept out of central London over the last 6 months. And they have been emboldened from day one because people were on the streets celebrating after October 7th and the police did nothing as flares went up and people climbed buildings. And you see the police like, oh, please come down, oh, what...
Right.
And people with Hamas flags and people chanting jihad and the police actually gaslighting everybody, going, no, it could mean multiple things. They have not done their job. I do have sympathy for rank and file officers. It is a hard job. I'd understand that they're greatly outnumbered here, but at the same time, I have a right to just exist in my city, and I'm going to take that right next week as I walk through central London wearing my yarmulke, which I do on Saturdays when I go to shul, and that's what I'm going to do. It's not a protest, it's not a march, it's a statement.
It's just Josh Howie existing.